welcome back to my channel. It's Just Read VI and I am back with another video. Welcome back, you guys. I'm so excited to have you. I'm really excited because today kicks off the May More Money series. So this month I'm going to be sharing my top 5 financial books on how to get financial peace, financial freedom, financial wholeness, just financial education, investing, retirement. Everything you could think of is going to be in these 5 books. So definitely stay tuned if this is for you. Also, when you're finished watching this video, be sure to head over to Instagram and follow at justreaddvi because I share everything over there. So I'll be sharing my books that I'll be reviewing probably before this video comes out, and then this video would be the next video will be a full summary of all the books and my thoughts on them. So definitely head over to Instagram and follow me there. Yes. All right, so let's get into the video. Today I'm kicking it off with Get Good with Money by Tiffany Aliche. If you've been following me, you'll know that I have been doing I am currently doing a 100 books for the year challenge. I'm reading 100 books for the year. I'm trying to read 100 books for the year. So this is book number 32 and I'm really excited because I'm getting there. So really excited about that. This book, I must say, was just amazing. It was great. I listened to it on Audible and I just really appreciate when authors read their own books, especially when they're motivational and autobiography books, because it hits different. You feel something different when they're telling their stories and sharing, certain struggles or pains they went through. It's different when it's the person that wrote the book reading it. So I really appreciated that. Tiffany, you did a fantastic job with this book. I'm going to start off by saying everybody should read this book. Everybody needs to read this book because she covered everything and I appreciated that, but she went in depth. So she did the definitions and gave scenarios and situations for everything that she mentioned, and it was just well done. She did such a fantastic job. Throughout the book, she covered getting out of debt, finding a side hustle to help you get out of debt, money management, time management, health insurance, assets, liabilities, power of attorney, your will, your living will, guardianship for your minor kids, which was something that I actually had to bring up to my husband because I kind of forgot. I was like, oh my gosh, who really thinks of that? Like, guardianship if something happens to you or your spouse if you're young. You don't really think about that stuff when you have young kids and stuff. So I was like, wow, this is pretty neat. So I'm sure I read that in another book also, but this book was such a good refresher for me. Let me start with that because my husband and I started our financial journey to financial freedom, peace, education. Let's start there. Shortly after we got married. So this was just such a good refresher going back, and I'm excited to read the other 4 also because I know there's a lot you could tighten up. You could always tighten up. So yeah, we started our financial education journey shortly after we got married. We were blessed with so much different materials and stuff coming into our paths. So we learned a lot and we applied a lot, and we're still learning and still applying, and it's just so amazing. So I really hope that you guys appreciate these videos, the series, my thoughts on these books, and read the books, to learn for yourself. So yes. All right. She shared preparing for retirement and just so much more. She just really packed this book and made it so relatable and understandable. And I think that's important for beginners where you don't know where to turn, and you feel a little lost, and you're looking at certain people and they're on level 5 and you're like, wait, but I need you to explain it for me because I'm level 1. So it's a different type of explanation for level 5 people versus level 1. And she did this just overall. It was just really good. Anybody could read this book. All right. So what I learned, I already just stated that my husband and I have been on this journey for a few years now. So with that being said, there wasn't much per se that I learned, but which is so funny because the one thing that I did learn is something so simple that I just didn't understand why. And this is how sometimes when you're learning and watching people on different levels, you don't necessarily learn layman's terms or little explanations of certain words or terminologies. So as simple as this for me: credit checks, soft credit checks versus hard credit checks. I was just always told or under the impression that when a bank checks like your credit account, it affects it. That tries to see how good your credit is or how bad it is. Does a credit check. It affects it, but I didn't understand why. And the reason being is that's a hard credit check. So a soft credit check is when you go on Credit Karma or Equifax or Experian and you do it yourself, versus when you go to a car dealership and they do it, or a mortgage company, the bank. So that was pretty cool. And I mentioned that to my husband and he was like, yeah, I knew that. And I was like, wow, I didn't know that. So that was my thing that I learned. Like I said, a lot of refreshing went into this. I agreed with pretty much everything, which leads me to the agreements. I agreed with pretty much everything that was mentioned in this book. Like I said, she was in line with what I believe and I've learned for the most part. You'll learn about the journey through as I discuss the other books that I'm going to be reading also. I'm really excited to be doing those. And I'll leave that for those. But yeah, I agree with pretty much everything that was discussed, but disagreements, except my disagreement was with leaving people that you aren't married to as your beneficiary, power of attorney, or executioners. She mentioned that, if you're not married to a person and that person is just been a spouse for a long time, you've been with them for years, you could go ahead and do the paperwork for them to be power of attorney or executioners, blase, blase. I do not agree with that. I feel like if that person was that important to you, man or female, you should marry that person and then, you move forward. It's strange for people to do that to somebody that you're not married with. That's my understanding, so I didn't agree with that. Not that that was that big of a deal in the book. She did a phenomenal job, like I stated. All right, so moving on to my favorite and least favorite parts. My favorite part of this book was her words of encouragement and her quotes. She really hit home with these, and I'm sure it's going to be so relatable and help push you through when you are reading and learning and moving in the different changes that you're going to have to do to get your financial wholeness. All right, so my top one was some don't think that they have enough today to start investing in tomorrow's needs. If we don't start investing today, what about tomorrow? So that was really good. And I added to this saying, this is why financial education is so important, because it gives you the power to control your money and not for money to control you. A lot of us think that if we don't have it, then we just should do it out. But a lot of the things that we're doing with and spending money and contributing towards, we really don't need and shouldn't be doing or putting money towards. Which is why if you have financial education, that then you know the do's, the needs, and the wants, and you can differentiate, and then you would be able to invest because you would do away with the wants and you would only be keeping the needs. So yeah, I like that one a lot. Another one was, it's never too soon or too late to start, which is very true. A lot of people feel defeated, like, oh my gosh, I'm this age and I can't, I started in my 30s. It's never too late to start. It's never too late to start. All right, and never too soon either, because the sooner the better. Your goals match your energy when you move aggressively towards them. They move aggressively towards you. So when you move aggressively towards your goals, they're moving closer to you too, because that's the attraction of you going after them. So that was nice. Action activates abundance. That's so true. And the last one was, the goals you're seeking are also seeking you. The Bible says, seek and ye shall find. So if you are this seeking, it's gonna come, because and this doesn't necessarily mean in that sense. Like if you're seeking and you speaking to different people, you networking, guess what? Those people are going to be mentioning you to other people, and those people are going to come to you now, or they're going to be seeking you. Like, oh, she's trying to invest in this. Okay, wow, how much money you have? We actually were planning on investing in it ourselves. Maybe we could team up. Now you have a team, you know? So, yeah. All right, my conclusion, I highly recommend this book because the lessons that were taught are staples to your financial wholeness, your financial freedom, financial peace. She discussed so much in this book, and I'm not giving it all away because I want you guys to read this book. Either listen to it on Audible or buy it on Kindle, but it is so worth it. She did a fantastic job with this book, guys. You really don't want to miss out. Definitely an example of Black excellence. Just well done. I'm so proud of you, Tiffany. Yes, I loved it. You know, I really enjoyed this book. Yeah. Tiffany, to you, my favorite story was the paper towel story. I know a lot of us could relate to this, where we kind of become argumentative when something goes wrong instead of just fixing the problem. That's me sometimes. So I related to that story so much amongst the others, and I just really appreciate you for just doing such a good job. You did a fantastic job with this book. A lot of women, and like I said, everybody should read this book because it wasn't just for women, men, kids, teenagers, college students. Everybody could learn from this book. The sooner you start, the better it is for you. So definitely go out and get this book, Get Good with Money by Tiffany Aliche. I loved it. Just Read stars. I give this book, as you can guess, 5 out of 5 stars. This book was just fantastic. Well done. Thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to hit the like button, comment, and definitely subscribe. I cannot wait to hear your thoughts on this book. If you've read it already, be sure to let me know in the comments. Thank you guys so much for watching. Toodles!